A genetic disorder in a line of women that makes the children behave just like their mothers. A man says that he found his mother to be in a situation and he is scared if his woman is going to turn out the same. Like mother, like daughter, they say. But could it be true in that situation? This is Confessions on TV3. My name is Miss Nancy, and I'm delighted to bring you another edition of Confessions, brought to you by MTN, everywhere you go, and supported by EcoPlus. These lovely royal seats are just for your relaxation. You should get something in your home. Let's get into the confessions booth and hear the nitty-gritty of that confession. The Ghanaian young man is becoming more confident by the day. They are able to express their emotions. It's always so humbling for me when men come to us here into the confessions booth to share their stories and to vent. This is Confessions, my dear. You are welcome.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nancy.
Please tell us your story, your confession.
Good evening, Ms. Nancy.
Good evening, my dear.
My name is Baba, and I'm a Muslim. I've been dating this Christian lady for 3 years now.
Okay.
But due to our religious differences, our parents don't want us to be together. The lady in question is very supportive. Later, my parents decided for us to be together. Okay. I was like, whoa. So I quickly went to do her knocking and asked for her prospectus list to get married to her.
Okay.
I later got a job, but my fiancé was in Cape Coast whilst I was in Accra.
Okay.
Funny enough, Ms. Nancy, we had a kid. So, along the line, one day, I decided to visit her in Cape Coast.
Okay.
I found out that my mother-in-law or my mother-in-law to be has a very great personality. She was very, very cool. One day there was an argument between my fiance's auntie and her dad. Sembo Baba. But she was, later did I know that she was having an affair with a lawyer in the neighborhood.
Who was having an affair?
My lady's mom, Ms. Nancy.
Your mother-in-law to be, who is married, living with her husband,
yes,
is having an affair with a lawyer in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood.
Okay.
So one day, my mother-in-law gave me her phone to do something for her. You know, there's old ladies, they are kind of...
Yeah, not technically savvy.
Yes, please. So I had to go through her phone. And whoa, Ms. Nancy, I was just setting up whatever she told me to do. And I found out that the lawyer in the neighborhood had texted her.
To confirm the rumor you had heard.
Yes, please. And whilst I was working on the phone, I realized that another message had come from an unknown person. And Ms. Nancy, in Sembo Baba, what the message I saw was that the man said he didn't enjoy her the last time they had sex.
You mean your mother-in-law?
Yes, please.
Not your fiancé?
Not my fiancé.
So now you know of 2 men that your married mother-in-law is supposedly in relationships with?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So my father-in-law was having a serious argument with my mother-in-law to be, because he felt that he wasn't giving him the needed attention, we were making love, and he wasn't enjoying.
She's been taking it outside.
She's been taking it outside, enjoying outside. All she said was that she's thinking about herself and she doesn't want sex. Ms. Nancy, apparently my fiancé exactly looks like her mom.
Physically?
Physically, emotionally, and everything. Ms. Nancy, I don't know what to do.
So now what is your challenge here?
Ms. Nancy, now I don't know whether to go in for my lady, because I've gotten a prospectus list for her marriage. And from the traits I've seen in her mom's character and how her mom portrays Ms. Nancy, Miss Shoo.
Thank you.
Welcome.
That is his story. That is his confession. Infidelity, could it be a genetic disorder? Could it be a spiritual thing that runs through a bloodline? He is worried that the wife looks exactly like her mother. And if a married woman is dating 2 more men apart from her husband and not giving her husband the needed attention, could this happen to him too? Quite a confession, quite a story. Hey, and someone calls you. I just mean some. When we go out there, they tell us that sometimes some of the confessions are actually amazing. They are shocked at the things happening in other people's homes. And there are days I meet people that tell me that, Miss Nancy, your confessions, they are mine. No, the things that some of us are keeping, when we start releasing them, the whole Ghana will come to a standstill. Whichever ways we're still taking the confession. People, did you hear the confession? A married woman, Christian married woman. The gentleman in question is actually a Muslim. And he's seeking to marry a Christian girl and found out that in the same house, her auntie and her mom are all dating one man. And not just one man, a married Christian woman has 2 men besides her husband, and the husband is always crying for attention. That is the confession. Gentlemen?
Miss Nancy, thanks for the opportunity. Miss Nancy, from my point of view, I don't advise Baba, the Muslim guy, to join the family. Because if your mother-in-law and your auntie are into this, then their daughter, sorry to say, might definitely be into it. So I would advise him not to buy the prospectus or whatever he called it.
You should return the list there.
Return the list.
Prospectus,
Yes.
indeed. Thank you. Yes, my lady, I'm glad a lady is speaking. Can you imagine that your mother or your auntie has a certain character, and because of that, somebody is judging you by another person's character?
Miss Nancy, good evening once again.
Hiya.
So what I want to say is that Baba should leave the lady alone, because it's our parents that are going to advise us. And since she's a lady, her mom is the one to advise her, oh, you see, and you see. So since her mom is already into such acts, I don't know what advice she's going to give to her daughter. So I think Baba should let it go.
How pathetic it would be for a mother that because you did not make the right choices for your life, your children will live negative repercussions of it. Quite sad. Any other question or contribution?
Yes.
Yes, gentlemen.
Miss Nancy, you see, Okoton Wanoma,
Hey.
and like mother, like daughter. Me, I would advise my brother that he should be careful about his decision making. Yes, because...
But we've seen young ladies who are nothing like their parents. We've seen like children whose parents are very decent. Pastors, religious leaders' children going wayward. And other times, people that are not supposed to be so religious get children who are committed Christians and Muslims.
Miss Nancy, even if it's not a bloodline thing, but there's some conduct that the woman is portraying in the house. Because parents, this is what they don't take, notice of. There's some behavior they are showing in their house or in their area, the area they are. They don't know that the children or the kids that are coming are learning from them. It's possible.
Amazingly, if you're a parent and you're watching us tonight, understand that children actually learn by seeing, not necessarily by hearing. So what they see you do is what they do, not what they hear you say. Mind you, parent. Yes, my dear.
Nancy, confession is good, and it's always making us learn a whole lot. Growing up, one of the things personally I learned was that anytime if you're a young man and you are going into marriage, you actually make a background check Now, here lies the case. The lady Baba wants to go and marry. The mom and then the auntie are dating the same man. Now, the question is that both of them, are they aware of what they are doing? Is the mother aware she and her sister are dating the same man?
Yeah.
If they are very much aware, then I don't advise Baba to go in.
That is a good one. I'll go to Baba and then I'll be asking him all the questions. But tonight, we always want to make the conversation beyond the confession into touching our very lives and our values as a people. It's always wonderful to have a very fine, spirit-filled prophet with us in the studio to do this confession. His name is Prophet Echo Daniels, and everybody knows him for his TAP conference. Ladies and gentlemen, let him feel welcome and loved. Yeah, Osofo, it's good to have you. Please, make yourself comfortable. I see the TAP conference with you already, huh? Okay. A woman joins us tonight. She is well-spoken, she is intellectual, another spirit-filled one. It's always a delight to have Mama Kathy with us in the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mama Kathy. Yes. Please, more. Let her feel loved. Elegant lady, beautiful. Please have a seat. So you are both welcome to Confessions tonight.
Thank you.
Did you hear the confession?
I did.
Yes, I did.
You did? Osofo, the gentleman is saying that my woman has been great, has been supportive. I even have a child with her. I've gone to see her family. I've taken the list for the traditional marriage. But he's scared because the woman's mother, the auntie, they are all flirting around even though they are married. Does he have a reason to be scared?
Thank you very much, Miss Nancy. I appreciate you. A very good evening to our listeners and even to our viewers.
Sure.
God bless everyone. Yes, our brother, he needs, I don't know if there was a bigger word than scared. I think that he needs to be even more scared.
Are you speaking as a man or are you speaking as a prophet in this case?
I think I'm speaking both. You see, because the Bible says that he who has an affair, you know, with a harlot becomes one with the harlot. If you engage with a harlot, spiritually, you become one body with the harlot. And then you produce your likeness. So if you're going into a home, and in that home, there's a lot of flirt. The mother is having affairs outside marriage. The auntie is doing similar.
Same.
You check the family pattern. There are similarities, you know. What Abraham did, his sons did too. Abraham lied. His sons lied. So there are things that are genetic and they are spiritual as well. So I think that it is God showing him mercy by giving him that grace to even get scared. It is God.
Mama Kathy, the makeup of a child, the character that an individual exhibits, has it got anything to do with their parents, who they are or who they are not? Or it is just the society that forms who a child becomes?
Thank you very much, Miss Nancy. Truly appreciate you. Meanwhile, you are looking so glamorous.
So are you, Mama.
You're looking
Thank
awesome.
you,
Okay.
thank you.
So going back to this confession and the question you've asked me, in psychology, there are two aspects that actually that causes people to behave the way they do: nature and nurture. Nature means God. Nature means where you were brought up. Okay.
Nature and nurture.
Nature and nurture. That's right. Those are the two aspects of what really produces who we ultimately become. But going back to this, You see, I will want to be very careful how I look at this case. It's very possible to become where you're coming from, to look like where you're coming from. It's very possible. But you see, when you come to the age of maturity, you could also decide a life you want to lead.
Yes.
So when you are a child, you behave like a child, but you take responsibility for yourself the moment you realize that life is larger than the circumstances that birth you. So this young woman happens to be a victim of circumstance, which everybody will castigate because of what the mom and the auntie are doing. But the young man, Baba, that has a relationship with her, I think relationship should be more about communication.
Yeah.
You should be able to engage whoever you are in communication with, because somebody can come from a home where everybody's a saint and decides to be something completely different. That's a choice a person makes. So I would advise Baba in this situation not to think of the genetical code, but to engage the lady. The dicey one here is the fact that I don't even also think it's safe for him to say, I saw your mother's phone and I saw this. So diplomatically, there is a way to engage somebody.
The woman.
And then find out where the person is coming from. And if you truly love, because something should have attracted Baba to this woman.
To this one.
What made you go after her? In spite of what? His parents
were not in support of it, and yet he convinced them.
He convinced them. So something would have driven him into this relationship. So basically what I'm saying is, life is not just genetically controlled. Life is the choices we make when we realize it. And the only way Baba can really find out whether this woman is suitable, in spite of the, the antecedent of where she's coming from, is to engage her and find out where she is. She has already a child with this lady.
Yes.
So there is a child in question. But I would say, don't judge her by reason of where she's coming from. Because, you see, we are containers. When we unveil the container, the content may be shocking.
Yeah.
That you come from a home where everything is all right, but by the time you unveil the container, the content is different from where the person is coming from. And so give the woman a benefit of the doubt, engage her, and then through certain questions and find out where she's operating from, find out her mindset about life and all of those things. Because she's seen what the parents are doing. She may be in support, she may not be in support, but that is left for you to engage her to know her position with regards to this.
No matter where you're coming from, you can change. Anyone has the ability. You are not a tree. It's only a tree that cannot move from where it's been planted. You're a man. You can always change, right? Yes. Let us talk about a woman that says that I'm not married to a man, but I love him so much, let me commit him with a child. Looking at the situation, if there was no child involved, it would have been easier for us, or some of us that would believe that he should let go of the relationship. But because already there is a child involved, it makes it complicated. Having children out of wedlock with the intention of tying down the man. Also for you, a man, speak for the brothers.
You see, the Bible says that if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? Not the sinner, the righteous, the one that is qualified for heaven. So, again, the Bible says that from now on, we know no man after the flesh. And so life is more spiritual than you can ever think.
Yeah.
In the place of decision-making, it has a place of influence. For that lady to even go into a place of wedlock, I'm telling you that you will check from the family background, and there are traces of that.
Having children out of wedlock.
Yes, there are traces of that. So you see, before you decide to change a certain generational course or a certain background issues that are dealing with you, you see, sometimes it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
You may be so strong, you may be so firm at hoping that you would never make the mistakes of your mothers. But I'm telling you that if you don't look at it spiritually, with time, you will make the same mistake. You see, so the lady in question is thinking that, oh, if I have a child with a man, I can tie him down. What is sponsoring that decision making? Why is she even thinking in that line? Why can't she think?
Not confident that being with a man, he falling in love alone would get him to commit to her.
Bible says that Noah, when he built the ark, there is a spirit that compelled the animals to find the way of the ark. Nobody held the animals. So,
No.
so what took the snail?
It was
What
a
took the serpent?
spirit.
There's a spirit that compels people to a particular directive of life. So Paul says that he's a spiritual man. He's a very righteous man. He says that
Yes.
I find myself doing the things I don't
do not
want to
want
do. So you find yourself having an affair with a lady, right when you are done, you regret. And I'm sure it's happened to most of the guys here. Most of the ladies here. You make that decision. Maybe you want to pay school fees, you want to take care of the family, but after the act, you now come back to your senses and you're thinking, how did I make that mistake? So you see, when the lady decides that I want to have a child with him, something sponsors that decision. And the spirit of lust has the ability to make those kind of decisions for you. So that you think that, the Bible says that sometimes what seemeth right for a man, there's a way that seemeth right for a man, but the end thereof is destruction. So you may think, oh, if I have a child with him, he would be able to marry me and we'll have a very good life. Even at the time, the man, I'm sure, Baba, would have agreed, it's powerful, I love you. And they're making all these decisions on emotions, they are emotions. So, and the emotions of men are not intelligent. The emotions of men are not very accurate. But after that child comes through, then you realize you made a mistake. Then you go back to the family. Then you realize that even in the family, there's a lot of flirtations going on. It is the spirit. The spirit has the ability to channel energies in different forms. So before somebody makes a decision to change, people don't change until there's a supernatural cause, I'm telling you.
Serious conversations going on here in the studio. Alafia, you had something to say, question or contribution?
Yeah, Miss Nancy, it's a contribution.
Please.
Today's the story is so, I am touched, and it links up to me myself. I want to tell the people out there, in life, it takes maturity to take a decision and change people's lives.
Yeah.
Because one person, 10 people can do the same mistake, but one person can change the narrative and better the citizens or the family.
Yeah.
Now, my father once hit my mom with a door.
Okay.
My father wanted to go out, and my mom was like insisting.
Yeah.
And my father was moving, so my mother was chasing him. Then, all of a sudden, the door hit my mother's finger. I was then about 9 years, and that thing hit into me. And I said to myself, I will never, ever
abuse a woman,
insult, say anything. So for me, if you are a lady and you get angry, you get pissed, or you see me doing things and you don't like, I just walk off.
Yeah.
I go far, stay longer, and come back home. 2, when you look at Baba's situation, Baba and the lady, like the way Auntie Hetty said, can sit, discuss, and change the narrative for a better.
So you did not grow up to become the father or the husband that your father was.
Yes.
So you believe that this woman can
can change
not
the
to
narrative.
be the wife that her mother is.
Yes, and also you see, when the youth of today, or when you are in a relationship, people think about love. I want people to decide about liking. When you like people and it grows, it develops, love comes in late. But people always go in with love, love, love. It is not about love. Because God created us in his own image, in likeness. He liked us. You understand? Aside of that, when it comes to family trace, the lady's parents and auntie are fornicators. We agree. Now, Baba, have you checked your background? Like the way my pastor was saying. Has Baba checked his background? Even when he wants to check his background, he needs to check from his father's side and also go to his mother's side. But sometimes we do it from one angle. When you are able to take a strong decision, look at all the narratives, and you say, because I'm saying I'm a living testimony. My father's side, my father got married to like 3 women. He got first wife, second wife before my mom, and then even afterwards, he was doing it. When you check my mother's side, my mother had a son before meeting my father. My brother and my sisters, or my sister, got married and divorced. But I said, say, I want to change the narrative, and I've been able to do it.
How many years have you been married?
Miss Nancy, over 30 years.
Over?
30 years.
Are you kidding?
I have friends they don't know. My first daughter is 33 years old. 33. I met my woman when I was in JSS, and she was also at Kimbu. So it was from 1986. From 1986, she got pregnant 1989. Our first daughter came out 1990 until date.
You are still together.
We've had a lot of challenges, a lot of problems. But you see, sometimes when you are saying things or you are speaking, people might think you are just joking. But God willing, now I have 3 lovely daughters and a son, and all of them are doing well based on decision making. So it's about maturity and where you want to go. Thank you.
Alafia, so much respect and love for you, man. Imagine a young man impregnating a young woman. Mostly it doesn't end well. But look at this beautiful story. This is also going out to you parents out there. Just because your daughter decided to be naughty and got pregnant in the process does not mean that you should let her or the man go. They could build a life together, and it would be an amazing one like that of James Clark. Let's celebrate love such as this. This is Confessions on TV3. It's exciting in here. I need to go for a break. I'll be right back. Tonight on Confessions, we are getting confessions in the confession, and it's amazing. These are very positive ones. The show is supposed to be an impactful one. We do not only want to trend, we want to turn lives around positively. And I'm so glad you guys are here with me in the studio to do all of this and more. Thank you, Mama Kathy. Thank you, Prophet. Yes, Joy, you had a contribution.
Yes. So, love is a decision and a choice. And at this point, Baba has seen the other side of his woman, but he has also seen the other side, the good side of the woman as well. I think he should sit her down and talk to her, and they should reason together. I think he really loves this woman.
I'm sure.
Because they have a child together. Yeah. So they can reason together, and it's fine. I mean, he has seen the bad side, but it could be that she is not like that, like her mother and her auntie. It could be that she would be the one to break her generational curse or pattern. Yeah, so you should trust God that things will work out for them.
When there is a will, there is always a way. Yes, my dear.
Thank you very much, Miss Nancy. You know, as we hear all the time, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You know, but however, we can also make the value judgment. Because in our African setting, we all know how important our parents' blessings are important for marriage. And here's a case. He has his father's blessing. Baba has his father's blessing. So for me personally, I think he should make the time, get to know his fiancée very well, especially now that they have a kid. Get to know her very well, and then take it to the spiritual realm too. Pray a lot about it, and then I'm sure he'll be fine with time. Things will turn out, and he'll be fine.
Yes. Was there some? Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so I want to disagree with him on one statement he made, that our parents, their blessings are vital in marriage. What if the person do not have parents at all? So it's up to the man just to make up mind and then look at the other side, as my sister said, other side of the lady. Because you might also have a past that the lady hasn't seen yet. Or you might even have a future that the lady hasn't seen yet, or no one has discovered yet. So he should also work on himself, and then the lady as well.
Going out there, this is a rare case where this gentleman has been hovering around the family. And so he got to know exactly what is in there. It's almost like these days, we meet people on social media, we like their pictures, they like ours, and hi, before you know, they're husband and wives. Going back to do the research about family lineages, sicknesses and diseases, it's not happening anymore. And we are hiding behind Christianity that when a man or woman comes into Christ, he's a new creator. All things are passed away. Behold, all things are new. Hallelujah. Yes.
I was going to say exactly what you just said. There's a reason why in the olden days, when you want to get married, the family will send messengers to research into the family where you want to go into. They check for sicknesses, diseases, is somebody mad, what's happening with this family. Then they bring you a report. And based on that report, decisions are made. I'm not saying that the marriage will not come on, but decisions such as how do we deal with this kind of a trait in this family you're going to get married into. You see, I cannot stop reiterating that you are first African. You are first Ghanaian before being a Christian. Understand how spiritual engagement works. If you think that you're a Christian, you're listening to us, how many times have you prayed? How many times have you been going to church? What is that chronic situation that is still fighting you? Has it stopped? Does it stop for a season and come back? There are reasons why these things happen. And so when the gentleman goes into the home and begins to find out, oh, this is the background of this family. We are not saying that, Baba, don't marry the lady. But I'm saying that take spiritual caution, research into it spiritually, and make concrete decisions based on resolutions or solutions you've been able to do or you've been able to come up with. You understand? Because if we look into your family and we see madness as a trait, your uncle got mad. 5 years ago, your uncle's son was mad. 20 years ago, your mother's junior brother was mad. And then you say, oh, it's okay, I'm a Christian, I'm born again. My friend, you have to be very careful. You understand?
That you don't expose yourself to issues of mental health.
When you go into spirituality or spiritual works, you would understand that there are things the soul likes. There are things your soul dislikes. Perhaps you check into the background and realize that the person that sponsors that spirit engage with a certain kind of a spirit. Now, when that spirit is sponsoring that fornication, all you can do sometimes in the spirit is to engage that spirit that sponsors that in the family and say, okay, what do you want? What can be done to leave or to set this family free? The spirit can make a demand. And if you're a normal Christian, you don't understand what I'm telling you. You understand? The spirit.
So for you, when people are going to get married, even beyond checking the physical backgrounds of people, you need to come for consultations from men like you who would go into the spiritual dimensions and check the spiritual backgrounds for you.
That is actually the first thing to do, because the most counseling is copy and paste, state and explain. So they look at the book somebody has written, and no two marriages are the same. Marriages don't have formulas. So if you write a book and tell me that 10 ways to get marriage to work, I don't believe in that. You understand? Because that is how your marriage works. So, but
it may work for some people, but not for all.
It may not even work for 2-3 people. But we look at it spiritually and tell you that, brother, when this lady, when you go into their family, 10, 7, 15 people have been in poverty. Yourself, as a man, we look into your family, we tell you that at the age of 40, everybody dies. So do this and do that. Then you can add the counseling or the wisdom. Hallelujah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mama Kathy, looking into the backgrounds of your beloveds before you say I do.
I have been in relationship and marriage ministry for 22 years. I do...
Oh, celebrate her.
I do a lot.
She's experienced.
So I'm going to speak corroborating whatever has been said, but let me expand a little bit more. The first institution God created was marriage. Not government, not education, not business, not economy, not his family. The devil hates the family with a passion. with a passion. He will push you to do everything that you could possibly do just to enter it erroneously, so he can strike. So when I take people through, because that's what we do in my ministry, family renaissance simply means family rebirth. That's the name of the ministry. Okay, so you first of all must know the history and the purpose for marriage. For where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable.
Of course.
When you sort out the purpose and the history of marriage, you now get into generational patterns. You can never be over spiritual more than your generation that you're coming out from. Okay? Yes. So Abraham was a liar, Isaac was a liar, Jacob had PhD in lies. Moses, Simeon and Levi had problem with anger. Moses had problem with anger. The children are forgotten. Judah had a problem with sex. The sons, all of them till Solomon. That's the example we are following. So you go through all the patriarchs of old. There was something that ran through every family. So you cannot marry until you have situated what it is that runs through your family and the family of the person you are getting married. But the danger in this generation is people will not want to obey God holistically. They will still engage in sex. I think that's where the Christianity of today has a problem. Because in engaging in sex, what you do is that you are destroying the very fabric that would have given you power and superiority over the contention. So when you finish generational pattern, that is not the only problem. There is another dimension that people need to know. Like Baba, he's a Muslim anyway. The truth is, there is something called attachment styles or bonds. So apart from your generational issues, how you were birthed, the period between your 0 and 2 years affect how you become.
Yeah.
There's something called secure attachment. That means your parents were there, they love you, they hug you, they accepted you, validated you, embraced you, they did a lot of things. When a child comes from a home that is stable and solid, that child will not have a lot of problems. He will not even fall victim to relationships because he already has love to the fullest. Where you have problem with relationships, people sleeping around and all that is because there is a dysfunctional behavior that during the infancy was not catered for. And so when you come into marriage, when your parents, they were dismissive, they were not even available, they were there, you can see them today, tomorrow you don't see. There is a vacuum emotionally that is created. And so you are desiring relationship because you are thinking that the next person will give you love that was supposed to come from home. So ultimately, what we are saying is, let us be able to come. The younger generation, most importantly, I am so passionate about the next generation because if we don't correct it, the children that will be born out of all this dysfunction will have a more difficult problem to face.
And guess what? These children are your daughter's husbands and my son's wives.
Say that again. Repeat it again. Repeat it again.
The children coming out of these dysfunctional families are going to be related to our children. Of course. Some are going to be married to them. So if you're fixing yours and the other one is not fixing theirs, we are in the same soup together.
That is why we are here. And my mom, Miss Nancy, you said something, and I reiterate. You see, at the end of the day, there is a problem we are handling at hand. The problem is looking for love when you yourself, you don't know what love is.
You cannot give what you don't have.
You can never give another person what you don't have. Sex is not love. If sex were love, nobody would divorce. Because in sex, you have 24/7 to shut down on everything, close the door, and do the thing.
It's good, oh, when it's good. Mommy, you agree that when it's good, eh?
Yes.
It's good, oh. It would make you not think straight. It would make you see nonsense as common sense. Sex is that powerful. You can get hooked to a person that you are not even physically attracted to. Sex, do not underestimate it. All too soon, we are coming to the end of this episode of Confessions. It's been so insightful. Alafia, did you have your last words to share?
Miss Nancy.
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity once again. The mechanics say, the youth of today, we should learn to look at the mistakes that our parents have done and think it through. Sometimes your father might be an abuser, a drunkard, someone who doesn't respect parents or even the children. But don't look at that negative side of your father or your parents. Your mom must be somebody who doesn't respect your father, who doesn't want any family member to come into the family, who makes sure that even you, the children, sometimes they say negative things about you. But don't look at those things. Get into the Bible, read the Bible. Look at society, people that have made a difference. Learn from those things. Take a strong decision and tell yourself, say, you want to change and you want to make a difference in life, and you can do that.
Thank you, thank you. Prophet Akol Daniels, the top conference is coming off, right?
Yes, yes. By the grace of God, TAP conference is already happening. And we started on 25th October.
Okay.
And by the grace of God, we have the great men of God, Prophet Paul Kwekuni Okai, Bishop Ohene Asari, and Prophet Selassie Adai, who are all coming through. And I would like to use this opportunity to invite every one of you out there who is looking to encounter God and know Jesus for themselves. My Jesus and your Jesus are not the same. You need to understand that encounters will determine how powerful you become in life. So UPSA, the Vice Chancellor's Office Complex, this very night, it's happening. Tomorrow, Sunday, by the grace of God, it's happening 6 p.m. I want to see you at UPSA, the Vice Chancellor's Office Complex. God bless you.
And do not forget that as the men of God are coming in their spiritual elements, Miss Nancy is coming in her spiritual and style coaching elements to give you that touch that would make you stand out and not mix in. Mama,
yes,
it's good to have you. And it's delightful listening to your knowledge. And I'm sure that you may not be able to come on the show every day. So it's great for my viewers to know that you have literature out there that they can learn from every now and then. What books do you have?
Yeah, so these are two of my books. Secret to Surviving Your Early Years of Marriage.
Those are the scary years,
Early could be 50.
Oh, yes.
Early could be 50 because you can be making blunders all through your marriage. So this book is extremely very important. This one is The Family in National Development. So when you're looking at marriage, look beyond just marriage and realize that the children from your home could be the next presidents tomorrow, parliamentarians tomorrow. So you are raising people that will answer the enemies at the gate of Ghana and protect and lift this nation up.
All right, Mama Kathy, so your last words as we're wrapping up the conversation for tonight.
Yes, Miss Nancy, thank you very much. It will be unfair for me to listen to this conversation, be a part of this conversation, and not throw something open to the next generation. Between February 3rd to April 20th, 2024, there's going to be a training, premarital training for those who want to marry between January and June next year. 30 slots for 30 couples who wants to change the dynamics and the story of their marriage. So they can call 0501 289955. 0501-289955 and find out the details. Let's change the storyline.
It has been said that marriage is the only place that you receive the certificate before you commence. This woman right here is saying that come for the school before you receive the certificate. Thank you.
Too much.
And then are the people that we bring on Confessions. Impactful, intelligent, spirit-filled people. We are making sure that you're not just enjoying entertainment on TV3. We're giving you content that is turning your lives around and making you better people, the home a better place, and this nation as a whole. Good evening. This has been Confessions brought to you by